What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to the Common Podcast, where we speak upon common sense and realize it really isn't that common. Guys, we have a few special announcements before we get into today's episode. First and foremost, if you're listening to this on Spotify, this is going to be the last episode on Spotify, at least for now. I made a decision to go strictly YouTube because for those of you that do not know, we do have a second channel called Roger Reacts, and we're pushing content on there pretty heavily. And for that reason, just focusing on YouTube content creation, we're going to be going strictly YouTube. So YouTube streaming, YouTube content creation on both channels. And yeah, the podcast will be, for now, exclusively on YouTube. And now for the big announcement. Baby is coming. From the point of recording this, baby's coming in 2 days. So I officially will have baby in my arms in about 2 days. I'm extremely excited to be a father and actually live that out. And that's what this whole conversation is about, really. I'm super excited. We plan on making some content on the Roger Reacts channel with baby. So again, I know I'm pushing it heavily, but go check out the channel. We're making a lot of content over there, and we're having some fun over there. So with all that being said, I hope you all enjoyed today's conversation. The guest today is Freddie, who has been on the podcast several times already. He's someone who helps us out. He helps us grow. And, we're always happy to have Freddie on. His link is always in the description. Go check out his pages. And yeah. Anyways, guys, I hope you all enjoy. We're super excited for baby to come, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Peace. On the track. We're live. Ready? Let's crack this open.
Fireball. Salud.
Cheers.
Two.
We'll say it after.
Okay.
Oh, it's not that bad.
This is kind of sweet.
Yeah, it went down smooth. A lot smoother than what I thought.
Yeah.
Oh, it's actually really good.
Yeah. It's a sweet. It gives it kind of like a little sweetness. It's like cinnamon.
Yeah. I like it's like that candy, right? The cinnamon, the red hot candy.
Red hot, like a hot tamale.
That's good. Yeah. I'm not a drinker, you know this,
and I'm not. We're not drinkers.
For the people that know are listening, you're probably wondering what the heck are we doing. Right. I never open up a podcast. I'm never drinking on the podcast. And like I said, I'm not a drinker. I'm an occasional drinker. Mm-hmm. Well, I'll drink like at a wedding or something like that.
Special occasions. Yeah,
and it's for I do it very responsibly. Mm-hmm. Right now we're here at the house. You don't live too close. Oh, I mean, you live pretty close, so we're good. No, we're doing it responsibly. I'm an occasional drinker, and this is a special occasion because my baby boy will be here in 2 weeks officially. So we set the date. My wife will be having a C-section, and I'm excited. And we're both excited. My wife and I, we're ready for the little boy to come. And I thought,
And you're ready. I'm excited for you guys. Like, I swear, like I'm excited. Like I saw that your wife put a story, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like yeah, man, dude, like it's around the corner, around the corner.
Yeah. But
nervous?
I'm not nervous. There's a lot of people that there's something that I don't like though. Like I've heard it a bunch from a different groups of people, and I hate the negativity that comes around having kids. Like one that I constantly hear is like, oh, you better get a lot of sleep because you're not gonna get any sleep. Like I understand that's true, but like the way they say it, and there's other stuff, right? There's other stuff like, oh, you're not gonna have a life once the kid comes, or like your life's gonna change negatively in so and so ways. And I hate that people just demonize having kids.
And I feel like the reason why that happens, it's coming from people that used to party. So they're kind of like, oh man, like I used to live that style. Like basically they can't do what they used to do before, being irresponsible. Basically this is like them growing up, like, okay, now I gotta be settled down for sure. That's the way I look at it. That's what I noticed as well, is that it's coming from like people that miss the party life, but I mean, since you and I don't party very often or at all, it shouldn't even affect you at all.
Yeah, I don't know. I I've heard that from people that don't even party or didn't
Really?
party before. And like the thing is like I think it's all about perspective. And I think that you can make I heard a really good quote actually an hour ago. It says that hot water, boiling water can make an egg hard but make a potato soft. So you determine the situation, don't let the situation determine you.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is a case where people are letting situations determine them. Like, oh, it's hard. Yes, of course, having a kid is difficult, right? It's probably one of the most difficult things, but it's also one of the most precious things, right? It's what you make it. And I just hate I hate the demonization around it. Just one thing that I don't like. Because me personally, this is becoming a father is probably the most important thing in my life. It's something that I've always known that I wanted to do or wanted to be. And now that it's coming up, I'm just super excited. And then hearing all this negativity is just kind of like, ugh. I would like to have a conversation, maybe a podcast with a female that feels this way. Because, you know, I feel like it's more important to hear a female side because they bear the children. They give birth to the children. And they're the primary caretakers of the children. So I feel like having a female talk about it would probably be the best.
Have a female get her side of the story because, I mean, as men, we kind of want like our little mini me.
Yeah.
Like we want to have our little sidekick in a way.
Yeah.
You know, but we also want to be there when they go through their downs. You know, we want to be there when they have their first breakup, their first like loss of a sporting event, you know, stuff like that. I think we want to be there and see that, and you know, and see how they come back from that, and you have those precious teachable moments with them.
Yeah, I think it's very important for people to have a positive mindset when it comes to children. Like my wife does. Like we both share the same opinion when it comes to kids. Like I am so grateful that my wife is excited to have kids because if we were conflicted, obviously it'd be kind of tricky. But we're both very excited and we want more kids and we're both on the same page when it comes to that, which is great. But I think it's important for her to surround herself with other people that think alike. That way she doesn't like get consumed with all this negativity and then it become a bad thing or a bad experience. But yeah, I think it's crappy.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I agree with you. I mean, it's just I hear a lot of negativity about having kids, but I mean, I want to have a kid. Like honestly, I've been wanting to have a kid, but I'm not just gonna do it out of, you know, just because you know, I mean, I grew up with seeing people, you know, that will like. There's one situation where I used to work at a dealership, and next door was Texas or child support.
Okay.
And this guy had like 9 kids.
Oh snap.
And he had like 7 baby mamas.
Oh
Yeah,
snap.
so it's like, okay, that's not the life. Like, no, but like, it's just I'm excited to have my own little junior or even a little girl. Like I feel like I'm excited to, if I were to have a little girl, I'm excited to have that like scary dad moments like in Bad Boys 2. I don't know if you ever seen that scene where the uncle but those kind of scenes, and you know, but I kind of want to be, I feel like I'm gonna kind of be like daddy's little girl, like she's gonna be daddy's little girl. But boy, I feel like it's gonna be like a little mini me, like we'll have adventures.
That's what we hope, right? That's what we hope. We really never know until
gets
the baby comes out and then the temperaments kick in. Because we don't know their temperament.
Yeah, we don't know.
That's another topic, but you know, it's an interesting trend, and people might disagree when they're listening to it because obviously there's anomalies out there. But typically, this is the way it works. Typically, kids in their adolescence are more closer to their moms, and then as they grow up, they get closer to the father, the dad. And so it begs the question, like, why is this the case? Well, the case is because women are very good unconditional lovers. Mama bear, right? You always hear that, right? Doesn't matter what the baby does.
Yeah.
That's my baby, and I'm going to protect it no matter what, right? And so even if the baby's wrong,
Yeah.
The mama's gonna be the mama bear and she's gonna protect him.
Yeah.
On the opposite side, the dad's not an unconditional lover. He's actually a conditional lover, meaning when the child does good things, he rewards them accordingly. When he does bad things, he's the disciplinaire, right? And so what tends to happen is the baby, the child, I'll say the child because we're talking about a span of his years, realizes what he needs, right? So in the beginning, he knows that he needs unconditional love.
Yeah.
Right. And so, okay, it seems like the mom has this figured out, right?
Yeah.
She's a very good unconditional lover. Let me love on her. You know, I'm attracted to her. Then when the person starts to grow up, the child starts to grow up, start to figure out, well, the world isn't a conditional world. The world does not love me unconditionally like mama does. The world only loves me for what I do for it back. Society, work, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then so the child figures out, oh, dad's kind of really good at that.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, okay, well, if dad's really good at that, let me start leaning towards dad. And it's a really interesting trend that I think a lot of people don't like to admit. And obviously, going back to it, I think that that's not always the case. There's a lot of anomalies, especially now that the divorce rate is high. There's a lot of more single parents. You know, etc. There's a bunch of different cases where the mom and the dad are not in, you know, both in the picture. But typically, that's the way it works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But do you see that as either female, boy or girl, or like that kind of?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know because you hear like the. Yeah, no, I think so. I think so. Because you always hear the girls being the daddies.
Daddy's little princess. Daddy's little girl and stuff like that. Yeah.
No, but I think that's the case for both. I mean,
for both.
Again,
well, you have to wait and see.
It's not always the case, but typically that's what it looks like.
Yeah. How do you feel? You feel good?
I feel good. I mean,
you're not driving.
No, but I mean, even then, it's not bad. We're drinking responsibly.
Drinking responsibly. Yeah. Yeah, it's true because mothers. It's because they're already in that mother mentality once they find out that they're gonna have a baby because they're like, okay, because they already have that connection.
Yeah.
And then I think probably like around age of like 10, maybe he'll start leaning to the dad. Maybe I would say middle school, like late elementary. I think that's when you should the dad they're gonna have a better connection.
Maybe. That's why I think it's so important for the mom and the dad to be in the picture, right? Like, I think that's extremely underrated. I think it's really underrated because what we see on social media is all these girls talking about like, I'm a queen, I'm independent, I don't need a man, I can raise this child on my own, and it's like, sure you can, right? Like, obviously, people have done it before, but it's not optimal.
No.
Right, it's not, and the same way goes the other way. It's not optimal for a dad to raise a child by themselves, because I think the mother role is extremely, extremely important, especially in the beginning years. Because I think that, like you said, that bond of like, you know, the mom carried this child. Yeah, there's something special about that.
Yeah, because it's kind of like they already had like a step ahead of motherhood, 9 months. Yeah, they're already ahead. Because I think like dads like they're just waiting. They're just around the mama. I mean, you're protecting the mom, but I feel like she's more like in tune with the baby. So it's like she's already getting that mother instinct growing, and she's getting like that attachment. I mean, it's growing.
Yeah, like I'm looking forward to when my kid starts to start walking, right? Because when he's a little toddler, like he's cute and all. But I'm of like very like aggressive like caveman guy, right? Like I'm not delicate like my wife, you know, like my wife, she's a great nurturer, she's a caretaker, she's worked in daycares, she's taking care of older people, you know, she's done all these things, she knows how to take care of people, and I'm more of like the competitive you know,
I see a lot of wrestling matches with you.
You know, I'm the caveman guy, so I'm looking forward more so when he starts to grow up, and you know, I can play with him a little bit more, he can play back, and you know.
My mom told me, I mean, she told me that it's beneficial when you kind of roughhouse the child a little bit, like be a little bit rough, because you're growing them to be tough.
You mean like in discipline?
Like no, like playing rough,
oh, okay.
like playing around rough.
Yeah.
You know, because the thing is that if you put them in this little bubble, they're gonna be like timid all the time. But that's what she's told me. I mean, she is a professional, but she's told me that, like, you know, it's best to play rough with your child so that have that confidence to be that strong man mental.
Yeah, I believe that. I believe that also with like discipline too, right? Because you don't want your child to hit like a shock.
Yeah.
Of like a rude awakening once they're out there on their own.
Like 5 or 6 on their first day of school.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that too. But like once they get into the real world and they're trying to live independently, they know that they're conditioned throughout their adolescence that, you know, life can be tough, but I can overcome it. Instead of being coddled the whole way, not letting anything, you know, hurt your child, hurt his feelings, not being rough with him or whatever. And then he goes into the real world and he's like, oh, why don't these people treat me like mom and dad?
Yeah, it's like gets more timid. I mean, that's where, and I think we had a discussion on the last podcast, like the bullying, like we kind of have to bully in a way.
Yeah.
But not too much. But we kind of, you know, you get me? It's kind of like you want to push the limit.
Yeah, I think, well, like kind of what we discussed in that podcast is like the problem is, I think the definition of bullying is that's kind of, you know, bad. Well, it's a gray. It's gray now area. Because what is bullying to you might not be bullying to me because my temperament. There, I go against temperaments, but my temperament might tolerate a little bit more roughhousing than you. Or vice versa. You might be more tolerable to people talking trash about you as opposed to me. So bullying can look different. It's no straight line across. So that's where I'm like, do you like, is me trying to be tough with you, trying to toughen you up, bullying? Because to me, it's not bullying. To me, I'm like trying to be a good friend, or I'm trying to be a good father, trying to be a good brother, whatever it is. But to you, it's bullying. Yeah. So to me, I don't call it bullying. To me, I just call it conditioning.
I mean, we're just welding the sword. We're sharpening the sword. That's what we're trying to do, because you're not going to be perfect. So we're trying to prepare you for life, you know, because life is not going to be easy coming out the house. You know, I mean, I've seen it. I mean, I've seen it with kids. I mean, like I said, I used to volunteer coach for a football team. And I had kids where you can tell they were really like coddled throughout their whole, and these were kids that were like around 7 or 8. And you can tell because, I mean, they get hit by a little tackle and they start busting out crying, and you're like,
or they don't get their way. They don't get the ball.
They don't get the ball, or they get sad, or they don't get like a high five or something like that. They just start bawling, and
let me tell you, those are kids that are annoying. Like, people don't want to say it, but there's a chapter in the book that I lent you. Do not allow your kids to do anything that will make you dislike them. And the problem is that people don't like to admit that they dislike aspects of the child. It's not that you dislike your child. It's that you don't like a certain thing that they're doing. But because that flaw could represent his whole, or he or she's whole identity, you ignore it because you don't want that to be attached to the child. Yeah. But in fact, what you should do is you should assess the situation, let them know that this is bad, discipline if you need to discipline, because what's going to happen is you love that child unconditionally. That's your child. At the end of the day, you're going to love that child. Yeah. But not everybody else is going to love that child. So when you go out in public and that baby's throwing a tantrum, you love them unconditionally. You're going to go back home and then you're still going to love on them. But guess what? Nobody's going to want to be around your kid. They're not going to get invited to the parties. they're not gonna get invited to play dates. They're not gonna get invited for sleepovers. Whatever.
They don't want those kids.
They're gonna be castrated to the side, and what's gonna happen in the long run is, because nobody wants to socialize with this child, they're gonna be antisocial. So when they go into high school, they don't know how to interact with everybody else.
And that's the thing that Jordan Peterson says, like around 3, that's where you want them to be social, sharing. You know, you want them to be likable. At age 3, you want them to be likable.
Yeah, and you want them to learn how to socialize with other kids. But the problem is, if you don't condition them and you don't discipline them enough, no other kid is going to want to be around them.
No, and I remember, I mean, I'm pretty sure you remember when you would get a kid party. You're like, there'll be a kid there, and you're like,
bro, you can know when. You know when a kid's annoying.
Yeah, you know, you're like, no, that one. But you gotta deal with it. But like, that's when you can tell that they're being babied, like they're too coddled, but the whole time. I mean, by mother and father.
Yeah.
Or if not, the father kind of doesn't want to deal with it. Like,
or maybe the father's not in the picture. Or
he's not in the picture. But it's just, I mean, that's what I learned. I mean, it's just like you want your kids to share, but also not like, hey, like I'm gonna share, but you can't push me around. You know, and they said the perfect age is to be at 3. Teach them how to come up to people, be likable, and say hi, Mister, hi, Miss, hi, sir, hi, ma'am, and that's like the perfect age to do that. And I'm excited whenever I do that. I mean, there's no really manual, but we can at least try to aim for that.
Yeah, and that's like what they say is like you learn in careful danger, right? So like the only point that you learned is when you start to reach out of your comfortability, right? So once you start to get uncomfortable, you stop there. You don't go too far. You stop there, and then you try to get comfortable, and then you get a little bit more uncomfortable. Then you get comfortable to that, and that's how you grow, and that's how you learn, right? Let's say somebody's antisocial. You're terrible at public speaking. You don't like to go to parties. You don't like to hang out with groups, whatever it is, right? Let's say you don't even like to go out in public. Walmart, right?
Introvert,
right? Whatever. So what do? You take steps in order to get there, right? Or I'll give you a better example: an elevator. Someone's scared of an elevator to get in an elevator. What do? You take them to the elevator, and then you have them stand in front of it. And then you say, don't worry, you're not going to go in the elevator today. I just want you to look at the elevator, right? And it's okay. This is not too bad. Step out. Okay, now I want you to signal the elevator. Okay, signal the elevator opens up. You don't have to go inside. You know, you bring them back the next day. It's okay. All I want you to do is just walk in the elevator. We're not going to travel. Just go in the elevator. Walks back out. Okay, that wasn't too bad. I can tolerate that. Yeah. Right? Eventually, what's going to happen is this person is not going to be afraid of the elevator. Yeah, right? And that's how we learn. That's how we grow. And that's how kids, this is like you said, the pinnacle is 3 to 4 years old. They start to socialize with other kids. They start to do dangerous things like hang around on the playground. They start to learn their boundaries, and then they grow. But the thing is about when you coddle them, they never learn the boundaries, and they never grow. Right? Because you don't allow them to grow. Yeah. Like you're scared of them getting hurt. You're scared of other kids being mean to them. You're scared of other parents being mean to them. It's like, guess what? When they go out in the real world, people are going to be mean to them. They're going to get hurt. They're going to get their heart broken. Better to do it when they're in your supervision than when they're not.
Yeah. Yeah. It's I mean, it's for like seeing a kid going up a ladder. Like, okay, you're seeing that he's going up the ladder, and you're like, okay, so he's gonna fall, and you step away and you see him, like, okay, let him learn. He comes back down, and nothing happens, right? But then there's gonna be a time where you let him go up the ladder, and if he falls, he's gonna hurt. And you'll be like, okay, yeah, I should have never done that. And, you know, he's gonna learn, you know, and that's saying you kind of want to be distant away to let him fail. At a young age, like let them go up a ladder, let them go up the stairs, let them, you know, try to get up and try to get a bowl of cereal, but so he can learn.
That's a great point, right? But like I said, also like it's careful danger. So it's like you're not gonna let your kid run on the street. No. Right? There's limits, right? You're not gonna You're not gonna let your son go into a 12-foot pool. You're not gonna, there's limits. But what I'm trying to say is like, you have to allow them to really condition themselves and really test their limits. Mm-hmm. So that's great.
Were you when you were little? Did you ever wander around?
Oh yeah.
And where your parents are like, you start crying. Did you ever have that?
I grew up a lot around my uncles. Okay. So my uncles were like the big brothers because they're not that much older than me. 5 years older than me and 6 years older than me. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot more that were a little bit more older than me. But those two were the ones that were like the big brothers that... Yeah. Okay, we didn't have video games back then. Mm-mm. So it's like, all right, let's go outside. And we would just make up games or we'd play football. We'd be climbing trees. And it was just like, I remember there was this one tree in particular that was super high. And my uncles could climb it. And my goal was I want to climb the tree. Like, I want to be like uncles, right? Yeah. And so one day I just grew up the courage and I climbed the tree. And it was like the biggest accomplishment. But it took... I was taking it step by step. Okay, let me get this high. Let me get this high. Let me get this high. And they always told me, if you get to the very top, you can see stripes from this side, and you can see stripes on that side, which is a corner store.
Yeah,
right? Which are like, literally these two. I don't know. You know which one I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, that's the goal. Yeah. I want to be able to see both ends of the street. And I remember getting to the top, and it felt so accomplished. Yeah. One time I fell though. From the top, and I hurt myself really bad, and my uncles told me like, you need to overcome that fear, so you need to go back up there. And so I did. But see, like that, I think that's a perfect example. It's like, if my mom was around, she wouldn't have let me climb that tree. Or maybe she would never let me climb that tree again, right? Yeah. Maybe if the parents were around, they wouldn't have let me. But yeah, you kind of
let them, you gotta have to let them, I mean, you have to let them have their own little adventure, but watching them from far away, like, okay, he's on, like, you're in the backyard, like, okay, he's just digging around, he's cleaning up the fence. I'm like, okay, and if he falls, and he's gonna learn. He has, and it's just for him. He has to learn his limits, like you said.
It's kind of like us that work out, CrossFit, hitting PRs.
Yeah, we have to fail.
Right, you're gonna fail, but you'll never know if you don't try it. But there's a process that goes into it, right? Mm-hmm. And then it's like, let's say you're on an 8-week program to better your max or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. And then after your 8 weeks, you find out, did you work hard enough or did you not? And then, depending on that, you go back to work and you try it again.
Yeah.
But you will never know if you're capable of hitting that weight if you never try.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like trying to overcome that fear. I hit what was it? A 205 snatch, and that's decent. Like, I feel like I'm.
Hey, I'll have that any day.
I feel like I can do more if I get my technique a little bit more down. Mm-hmm. But I wasn't able to do it until I recorded myself, and so what I saw was I was getting the bar up here.
Oh, you were rounding it.
Well, no. I was getting it here, but I'm talking about the height. I was getting it up here. Uh-huh. I was like, bro, that's already up.
Yeah, you should go under.
It's just the fear.
Yeah.
So the very next rep, I was like, because my friend was like, hey, Carlos was like, hey, like, look, this is this, whatever. It's like, bro, I got it up that high.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, like, you're almost there. I was like, dude, I didn't know I was getting it, because when I was lifting it, I didn't know.
Yeah.
So when I saw it on video, I was like, I can do this. Mm-hmm. The very next rep, the very next set, I did it.
Yeah.
And so it was just like overcoming that fear and realizing that I'm capable of doing that.
Yeah.
So.
And that's the thing. Like, when I did my first bar muscle up, I never thought I would ever get up that high. I never thought. And until one guy, the owner from Hercules, Jacob, he's like, dude, you're like right there. You have the strength for it. It's just that you just gotta.
It's like a fear thing. It's all mental.
It's all mental. And so it's all mental. And so perfectly timed. He recorded it, and which, man, thank goodness he recorded it. He recorded it, and sure enough, man, like I got up to it, and now I could do singles, but I mean, hopefully one day. But it's just a fear, man. Like, and that's another thing. When I went to New Orleans, we'll talk about that later. Another gentleman told me about that. He told me about like overcoming a fear, And that's the thing. My fear, I have a fear of snatches.
Oh, okay.
I have a fear of snatches.
Is it because of videos you see or
No,
something happened to you?
No, it's just I feel that when I have it up, I'm scared that the bar is gonna be like gonna hit my head and I'm gonna knock out. He's like, and this guy was from Scotland. He's like, oh, you're gonna get hurt no matter what, but it's not gonna. That's rare that it happens.
Well, I'll tell you what, the more that you're scared, the more that you would get hurt.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think one good thing about lifting is learning how to fail. And people no, because obviously nobody wants to fail. But learning how to fail is the safest way to lift because you know how to bail, right?
Yeah, you know how to bail.
And so like the odds in a snatch of it falling straight down to your head is pretty rare if you're an experienced CrossFitter or experienced lifter. Obviously if you're a newbie, it can happen.
Yeah, it's
like
happen.
more often than not, right? But if you know what you're doing and you're up here, you know you're not gonna get it. You know you're not gonna get it. Throw it forward or you throw it back, right? But I get you. It is kind of a scary movement, you know, straight up. So
yeah, it's a scary movement because it's just something that I mean, imagine over 100 pounds just sitting in your head. And you're scared of getting a crack.
yeah.
But that's the thing. Like that guy told me, it's like, man, like, because I told him they were maxing out that day, and I'm like, I hate snatches. And he's like, especially squat snatches. Cause like snatching's fine, but squat snatches.
Yeah.
He's like, I have a fear that it's gonna go and it's gonna hit me. He's like, no, dude, nothing's gonna happen. Like, you're either gonna go fall back, or you're gonna drop because you already are experienced. So you already know how to bail out. It's just that you have that mental block. And sure enough, you know, I PR'd this past week on my snatches, squat snatches. So I'm like, oh, okay.
How much?
I don't want to say. I don't want to say.
It's fine.
But no,
It's
but I'll tell you this much. There was a competition, and that's where I was PRing my squat snatch.
Oh, okay.
And then when I did it was 25 pounds, because it was the reindeer games over there in Donna at Iron Shield. It was 20, and I think it was like within 8 months, 25 pounds of a difference of a squat snatch. And I mean, I think that's pretty.
Oh yeah.
That's a lot to me. I mean, to me, because I get scared of but once I got it over the field, once that gentleman told me, it's like, no, man, it's gonna happen. You know how to bail out. You know when.
It's 100%. Like, I think CrossFit is half mental, half physical. Because when I got my first muscle up, I was able to string them right after. The same day that I did a single muscle up, I was able to do 3 in a row. And then the CrossFit Open last year happened, and one of the workouts had muscle ups. Yeah, and I did all the muscle ups, and I think I did like 2 sets of 5, and then the last one I had to break into singles. So I was like, that's pretty impressive. But a lot of it was the mental. Yeah. So I didn't think I was going to ever be able to hit a muscle up. And then I'm, just practice. And then realizing, okay, I'm getting up higher. I'm getting the technique a little bit better. And then boom.
Yeah. And because that's the thing, my fear of the bar muscle up was falling forward.
Really?
Yeah, that's my fear, is like falling too much. Because I'm terco. Like I'm going to be like, because I remember when I would...
I'm just picturing. I never thought about that.
It's because I like to like go too much, and so I was like in my fears. Like every time I get up, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna fall forward, and I feel like I'm gonna crack my neck or anything like that. And that's what I'm scared of. But yeah, like after that, se me quitó like the scare, and I was like, okay, yeah, I got it. So it's good, man. I mean, it was good. It was good.
But you had a little road trip.
Yeah.
Why did you have a little road trip? And where? Tell people where.
I went to New Orleans. I went to first I went to Houston. Went there for a day. Went to a CrossFit gym there, which I truly recommend people when they travel. If you do CrossFit, I truly recommend to go to different gyms and seeing a lot of people. I mean, you work out. I mean, it's just an hour. They just charge $15 or $20. I mean, but I first went to Houston. After that, talked to them. I talked to the people, and they wanted to hang out, but I said I can't because I was gonna go to Lake Charles in Louisiana. But after that, we went to a taco place that's across the street. It's a good taco place. It was a healthy. I mean, to me, it was healthy because it didn't have that much grease or anything. After that, went to Lake Charles, Louisiana. Never played a slot machine in my life. Never. It was first time. Yeah, I went to this hotel, or I don't know what it's a hotel called the Golden Nugget, and it's like when I got there, I was like, man, it's huge. It's like it's real huge. And then when I got there, and I didn't reserve none of these things that I went to reserve.
Wait, was this like a spontaneous trip?
Yeah, it was just spontaneous. Yeah, just spontaneous because I was like, you know what? Because the thing is, at work they told me, hey, you can't take vacations between Thanksgiving and New Year's. So it's like, you got to take it now. It's like, all right. So I was like, you know what? Let me go to New Orleans because I never been to.
And you went alone?
Yeah.
That's cool, bro.
Yeah. So it's like a fun road trip going to New Orleans.
That's so cool.
I know my parents were kind of worried about that, but I was like, and a couple of guys from the CrossFit gym, when I told them where I was going, they're like, man, you're going to get beat up. And I'm like, no, nah, I mean,
I heard the racist over there.
Well, that happened probably. Well, I don't consider that was racist, but like, I'll tell you that in the end. But it was no, like a little bit. But yeah, when I went to New Orleans, there were some people that are Latinos over there.
Oh, okay.
But when I went, I was like, and the thing is that it was perfect timing because my dad's vehicle, my parents' vehicle, they had an accident, like a little bumper, right? So they lend them a rental.
Okay.
And since I work at a dealership, usually you get a discount for the rentals. But the thing is that my dad, they're like, hey, I was like, hey, are you gonna give you back the rental that they gave you? He's like, no, they're gonna have it for a week, the vehicle. I'm like, okay, well, what are you gonna do this weekend? And he's like, no, pues I'm just gonna be at the house. I was like, okay, well, can I borrow the rental?
Oh, you took the rental?
Yeah, I took the rental. I'm like, I'm not gonna take my truck, and so I took like a small little Nissan little vehicle.
That's cool.
Yeah,
you didn't put miles, or you didn't waste gas.
No,
like,
because originally when I first went to vacation, I was gonna go to Austin. I was gonna go to Austin because I went during the Rogue Invitational, but then I got invited. I hung out with a buddy of mine from high school. And then when I went, one of my friends, she told me like, "Hey, you're in Austin." And I'm like, "Yeah." I came by, and she's like, "Oh, we should have hung out." I was like, "Oh, pues sorry." I mean, but then she told me, "Pues come back later on." I mean, like come back. I mean, I'm having a birthday party, and we could all hang out. I'm like, "All right." And I was gonna go, but unfortunately there was a leak in the roof, and I was like, I didn't get to go to Austin for Saturday, so I didn't go. So then I was like, you know what? I have like a few days left. I was like, for my vacation, I was like, you know what? Let me just go. So I was like, you know what? Let me just go to Louisiana. I never been. I was like, you know, I want to see. I'm into that voodoo kind of like, but I like the French, the history about Louisiana. Okay. So I went first to Lake Charles, went to the Golden Nugget. Never played never gambled, never gone to a slot machine ever, but never. My first mistake was that I would put, like, I had $40. I was like, okay, I'm just going to spend 40, win or lose, whatever. That's what I'm going to spend. I left my wallet upstairs. I took $40 cash and then started like asked for change in this machine, and it gave me ones. And I'm like, okay, so I started just going to like, for the first like $10, I went to random machines. And so I didn't know anything machine, but there's where it tells you like, I saw that it was saying 80, 160, and then some had like 50. And then I'm like, okay, I don't know what this means. So then when I sat on one, this lady, she was like, baby, like, you're not from here. I'm like, no. I'm like, no, I'm not from here. It's like, how can you tell? Because, baby, you're wasting a lot of, you're putting dollars in when that takes, like, you're just betting $1. I'm like, oh, okay. So she was telling me, like, okay, you see this, like, 50 and this one. And I'm like, yeah. Okay, every time you're betting 50 cents. I was like, oh, no wonder the money's going down quickly and I was not winning. So she's like, so since this is your first time, baby, why don't you go to there's like a 20 cent one. So I took my ones and I was like, I'm gonna be at the 20-cent one. So I'll just go in and I'll play like 20 cents. So you put $1 in, it's 20 cents every time you bet. But man, that thing went quick. So, but yeah, so that's like, you know what? I'm not gonna go anymore. That's it. And then like one of the girls over there, she's like, it's like, since this is your first time, I'm gonna give you a 20. And if you win and you get your 20 back, give me the 20 and you keep the rest. I'm like, all right. So then, I told her, look, this is my first time. I've never played. I mean, like I said, I'm not really good. So she's like, I'm telling you right now, you're not gonna get that 20 back. Like, don't worry, baby, I got you. I'm like, okay. And she was a African American lady, like probably like in her 50s and 40s, like
a cougar.
Yeah, a cougar.
Trying to take you home.
Yeah, man. No, and it was like, and she told me, oh, you want a drink, baby? And I'm like, no, I'm good. I mean, I'm not much of a drinker, but that's the thing. Like, I started playing and I had a fun time. Like, and I had fun, and I started talking to a lot of people there. And then after that, the following was, I stayed up to probably like 2 a.m. Then went to ate at a restaurant there, which was pretty cool. It had like a wall just full of screens of TVs. It was DraftKings. I don't know if you know what DraftKings are.
I've heard.
Yeah, so it's like basically you gambling while you're eating.
Yep.
But I was just there for the food. Had like a cauliflower pizza. It was like pretty good.
Cool.
The waitress were real nice. She was giving me some advice. Then went after that. Went to the room, knocked out. Then I woke up, went to Lake Charles CrossFit gym, and this is the thing. Like, I feel like I noticed that I have a lot of friends that do CrossFit, and I noticed that when they travel, they don't go do drop-ins, and I feel like I tell them, like, do drop-ins at CrossFit, because if you're going to another gym, you're going to another state, they're gonna tell you where's the best place to eat, or where to hang out, or what are they gonna do afterwards. So when I went to the Lake Charles, they were like, hey, you want to hang out? And I'm like, no, well, I gotta go to Baton Rouge because I wanted to see the LSU stadium. But they were real friendly, real nice. They were always, and they taught me a lot, like, when I was over there. And that's the thing, like, some people might feel intimidated when they go to another CrossFit gym, but it's just all fun. I mean, to me, I always have fun.
That's one of the things we're talking about, mental.
Yeah,
right?
It's all mental, and that's the thing. Like, it's just like, it's like being like local here. It's local. You see different types of people, all walks of life, all have different. And the thing is that I felt like it was a good experience for me, because the thing is that it's getting me out of your comfort zone. Yeah. It gets you, like, you have to talk, because you're if you don't talk, you're kind of like that weird guy. You're like, yeah, you're like that weird guy, and I'm like, man, I was like partly quiet for like the first 10 minutes, but then they started talking to me, and then they started talking, and we all started talking, and they told me, they recommended where to go eat and stuff like that. And I'm like, all right. So I went to the places where they told me to eat, and man, it was delicious. Like, I love the local Cajun food. And then after that, got to Louisiana, to New Orleans, got there like around 8. No, after Baton Rouge, got there around 8 or 9, and I was gonna stay at a hotel, which I ended up not knowing that it was haunted.
Oh, that's right. Saw your snap.
Yeah, because like that's the thing. Like I went to one, and I was like, okay, I went to this hotel, and it was the French Quarter in New Orleans. It's beautiful. Like at night, there's like a tour where they have like those old school lanterns.
Okay.
And they're just talking about the history, about everything. And when I went to the first one, I just put Priceline Hotel French Quarter, and then I went, and they took me to this place called the Andrew Jackson House or something like that. And when I was there, the gentleman was like, he was like, oh, you're not from here? I'm like, no. It was like, oh, okay. And then we started talking, and he's like, well, unfortunately, we don't have any openings. I'm like, oh, okay. So I went to another hotel, and as well, it was also closed. It was another historic hotel, because they're using the same hotels that they used like in the back then. Because I went in, I was like, man, everything's beautiful. They have a piano that's over 100 years old. They have everything's like, it has some modern stuff like computers, but everything's like beautiful. Then after that, I went to another one. Same thing. They didn't have any. But then I went to my last one. I was like, okay, if there's no other place, I'm just gonna stay at a regular hotel. So I went to this place called the St. Mason something, and when I got there, there was a couple, African American couple, and they were like, they were just upset, and I'm just there waiting because I'm patient. So I'm like, they were getting upset, and they're like, they started arguing. They're like, you know what? I want another room. I don't want 201. And I'm like, and I don't want to be like, I don't want, I'm like, and that's the thing. Like, I was all like, okay, what's up with 201? What's up with 201? What's going on? So then they were saying like, yeah, we went in and there was somebody there. I don't know if it was a worker. I don't know who it was, but somebody was in my room. And it was like, I thought it was going to be, and I was like, no, it must have been the husband. But then the lady, the wife and the husband was like saying like, no, we saw somebody there. So we just closed the door and walked out. And so they were calling the repairman like, hey, were you in that room? And they're like, and he didn't answer. And then he's like, no, I mean, I don't remember I wasn't in 201. So they got scared. Like, they're like, no, you know what? I don't want to go to 201. And I was there, and plus, I really didn't care. To me, if they give me 201, I'll be like, well, if you're going to give it to me, give me discounted. Oh, yeah, but I mean, I could care less. But when I went, they were telling me, look, we have 201, but I'm not going to give it to you. So I'm going to give you another room. So they gave me another room. And I was like, okay, just in case, because I'm into ghost hunting. Like, I'm really into ghost hunting. And I was like, okay, let me record. So that's why when I opened the door, I'm like, hello. And I mean, unfortunately, there was no ghost or anything like that. But just dropped off my stuff. And then after that, went to Bourbon Street. And it gets pretty wild.
You stayed at 201?
No, I didn't. Oh, okay. No, but I mean, if they're allowed it to me, I mean, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind. But after that, started talking to this lady, a girl that was there, and then she's like, "Hey, I'm gonna go to Bourbon Street. I'm not from here." I'm like, "Oh, I'm not from here either." And I was like, "All right." So I went to Bourbon Street by myself, and then I saw her too, and then she saw some other friends of hers from there, and we all kind of hung out and stuff. But Bourbon Street gets kind of crazy over there.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine, bro.
And it was fun. I'm not gonna lie. It's a long, like, comparing to 6th Street in Austin.
Is it better?
It's kind of hard to tell because the thing is that when I went to Bourbon Street, it was cold. Oh. Okay. And I went during Halloween on Austin, and that's what was more crazier over there. Like, it was a lot of females were kind of going crazy over there, and it was a good experience as well too. When I went there, and it was like I said, it's a good experience for me because it kept me out of that shell of just being there. Because usually, like, if I go out, I kind of just like to be left alone. Yeah. But here, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go to Austin. I want to talk to people.
I'm like that, bro. I'm real boring. Yeah. I'm a boring person. I feel bad. Like,
after 1 or 2 fireballs, or yes, I could.
Maybe, I don't know, but like, whenever my wife and I go on vacation, mm-hmm. I have to she doesn't force me. I have to force myself mentally. Like, okay, this is time for you to go out and explore. You can't be a homebody, mm-hmm. right? Like, so, because if it was up to me, bro, like, my vacation would be here at the house
and chill
out, relax, mm-hmm. Do the things I like, stream, podcast, whatever. Mm-hmm. But I understand that when it's all said and done in the long run, I'm gonna miss out on a bunch of different experiences. So mm-hmm. I'm like, no, you have to go out. You have to take advantage of the time. And
that's the thing, and that's what made me go to Louisiana, is just out of spontaneous, because we're meant to explore. Mm-hmm. We can't just be in this nest this whole time. That's what I learned for the past couple of months, is that especially me that I'm a single guy. I have no like kids, you know. I mean, yes, I'm running a business, but I was still able to run a business even though I was over there.
And plus, you have a very supportive family that
Yeah.
helps you out with your business
Yeah.
too. People don't know that, but yeah,
Mhm.
like that's huge. That's super important. Like,
Yeah,
you're very blessed. To have that.
I'm very blessed because, and that's the thing. Like I tell my parents, like I thank them a lot, like as much as I can. And that's the thing. Like whenever I will get the orders, I mean, because the thing is that they're not very tech savvy, my family. So it's more like I have to talk to them. I have to do the promoting. I have to do that. All they kind of help me do is, yes, they help me sometimes with the meals, like sometimes like in the afternoons, but in the mornings I'll do it. And then, but I'll tell them, hey, I ordered, there's a HEB drop off. Can you be there at this time? Please
Yeah.
bring it inside and please put the meat inside here. Okay. And yeah, and they'll help me out there because I mean, if I didn't have anybody,
Yeah.
man, it's a match para I mean, it's a match para I mean, that's it. And but the thing, that's what I did for, and that's what I learned in the Rogue Invitational when I went to Austin. When I went to Austin, I got all the food, all the meals and everything on the way back. And that's the thing. I was like, man, it's because the thing is that they were busy. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to get everything on the way back. So I went to like, I think I was in San Antonio. I was in San Antonio and I went to HEB and I just started getting all the meals and I drove on. I mean, it's only 4 hours. So I got all the meals over there.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah. So, I mean, that
That's
was
dedication.
yeah. I mean, and that's the thing I feel, and that's the thing, like I love my customers, all my clients. Like if they ever need anything, like if they need, hey, I can't have this, I can't have that, man, I'll change it up for them for that day or whatever. Because I mean,
Yeah, we're good.
yeah, and yeah, because I mean, I feel for them. I mean, they're already investing money for a service. I'm not gonna just leave them high, bone and dry like that because
Yeah.
I mean, without them, I wouldn't even be here. You know, I wouldn't be here being more than a year.
Yeah.
And like I said, I didn't even know it was like more than a year. Like I didn't even know like our
Time flies, bro. The
Time
podcast
flies.
has almost been up for like 2 years.
Yeah. So it's, I mean, time really does fly. I mean, you didn't know that you were gonna have a kid in your first podcast.
Yeah, when we found out that, from the point that we found out that my wife was pregnant to now, time just flew like a blink of an eye.
Yeah.
But yeah, bro, you're
Yep.
right. Like, take advantage of that you're single. Take advantage that you have all these opportunities right now because, and I'm not demonizing being married. I'm not demonizing having a family, but like it's obviously easier to travel alone. And it's good to take advantage of those times right now before you get into a family. Because obviously, when you have a family, you're gonna travel as a family.
Yeah.
Things have to be a lot more planned out. Things have to be thought out, and you know, everything like that. But
I think you're gonna be that dad with the you're gonna have everything scheduled. Okay, we're gonna leave 800 hours, and we're gonna leave 8 hours. We're gonna have our breakfast at 900 hours, and we're gonna leave at 930 hours. I feel like I think you're gonna be real organized.
So this is what I've done with my wife in the past. I'm like, okay, look, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna wake up at this time. We're gonna go here, and then the rest or this amount of space, I'll say, like, let's say 3 to 6 p.m. That's free time, spontaneous time.
Yeah.
So we do whatever just comes up in those
Yeah.
hours. But after 6 p.m., we got to go do this, and this. So
Yeah.
like, I do plan it out, but I like to leave room for spontaneous
Yes.
things because it's like having everything planned out kind of just ruins the fun.
Mm-hmm.
And it builds a lot of stress because expectation will literally destroy enjoyment if you allow it to, right?
Yeah.
So expectation is a thief of joy.
Yeah, because I think now I think I was criticized one time when I went with someone. We went to San Antonio and like, no, I just want to go. I'm like, I know, but it's just I have to plan it out because I want you to enjoy it and I want you to enjoy it. So I planned out from the time when we woke up, from the time I woke up, from the time I was gonna take her, and I said, okay, we're gonna do all this stuff, and I'm gonna try to put everything in this span of time. And I was able to successfully do it, and everything came out perfectly.
But the thing is with that is that comes down to temperaments.
Yeah.
because my wife is very schedule oriented. So like she wanted to know like, no, what are we gonna do though in those hours? Like whatever we want to do. Is like, okay, well, what do you want to do? Let's figure it out. It's like, no, it's just like, let's take it. Those hours are just for us to do whatever is at the moment. But no, my wife's very like that, and I'm like that too to a certain extent. But I understand that, you know, okay, we need time to just kind of let loose.
Yeah, let loose. Yeah.
And but yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I recommend anybody around, like, in their 20s and 30s, like, hey, if you're single, travel.
When I was single, my buddy Carlos, maybe I'm burning him. I don't know if his wife's gonna see it or not. Hopefully.
Hey, he's already married. He already has a kid on the way.
It was a pass,
yeah,
right?
yeah. He ain't going anywhere.
We would go to Austin like every other weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we would go to 6th Street, and we have some pretty crazy stories, man. And it was fun. It was very short lived though. I'm not a partier. I'm not a drinker. I'm not any of that. Very, very short lived. I want to say like 6 months of that, and then I was like, okay,
they're very good for 6 months. A lot could happen in 6 months.
Well, a lot can happen in 6 months. Thank God, a lot of bad things didn't happen. In 6 months. But
yeah, like and that's the thing, like, and that's what I learned, like, just to travel more. So I'm actually not gonna be here next month as well, and
for how long?
A couple of days.
Oh.
I'm gonna go to Chicago.
Hey, the Windy City.
Yeah, dude. Like, I'm excited. Like, I was telling my parents, like, you know what? First thing I'm gonna do when I get there is that I'm gonna eat a Chicago pizza.
Okay.
Because the thing is that I know
they call them pies over there. Don't they?
Yeah. My sister, she told me, like, I'm gonna tell you where to go, the best pizza, because I love pizza, and plus I haven't had a regular pizza for a while. I only have like cauliflower, but I want a good pizza from I should get one from Chicago and also from New York City. New York, but I already planned it out, man. Like, I'm trying to see if I can stay in the house of the Home Alone house.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah, because I mean, if you go to Airbnb, they're renting the owner, the brother that plays Buzz, the bad brother, the mean one. He owns the house.
Okay.
So he Airbnbs it. And different rooms, and during Christmas time only, he has it set up like in the movie. There's booby traps throughout the whole house.
Oh wow!
So I'm excited to, like, if once they open it, I'm gonna try to get that open and try to get there because I'm gonna leave from work like at 5, and I already got a plan. I already got the ticket. I'm already leaving. I'm leaving at takeoffs at 7. Get there at 11. And I'm gonna probably walk around the city. Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, people tell me, like,
Chicago's dangerous, though. I will tell you that.
I know a lot of people think, like, you're gonna get shot. I'm like,
well, the crime rate there. That's like,
no, it's the highest.
That's not even speculation.
You know, it's
like,
the highest. It's the highest crime rate.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna try to go, like, in a safe place. But hopefully. But that's the thing. Like, I'm excited to go to Chicago. I'm gonna go first. Try to go see if I can go to that house of that Home Alone, because who does? I mean, think about it.
At least go, right, if you can't rent it out.
Yeah, I mean, if not, then I'll go. And then go check out the Michael Jordan statue. I mean, being a 90s kid who doesn't like Michael Jordan, my sister told me another place where they have, like, where you're standing and there's, like, you're standing on a glass.
Okay.
So and it looks awesome like that. And
how many places have you traveled to? States?
I've been to Canada.
I've
been to Toronto, but I was like probably like 10 or 12.
I want to go to Toronto.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful, man. It's beautiful going over there, and that's like I want to go to. I mean, Chicago. I mean, I was like, yeah, Chicago. Yeah, that's a nice place because I wanted to go see the snow. Because I asked my buddy what about New York City. He's like, dude, New York City, like, it's not what you think. And he told me, like, the rats are literally like this.
They're tacuaches, bro.
Tacuaches. They're like puro tacuaches cut, like that. See no más. Like, you just see a bunch of cuz around there. But, like, I mean, he told me, no, dude, don't even go over there. It's just what, I mean, basically, if I were to go to New York City, I'm just going to probably be there for like a day or two. Just be there like at Rockefeller, the skating rink, and be around there because, I mean, probably Times Square.
It's nice. I went to New York twice.
Really?
Yeah, I've been in New
Did
York.
you see any taquachos?
No,
No.
my uncle's a truck driver, so we got like a day each.
Okay.
So every summer, my uncle would take us. So I have family in Florida, so we've been to Florida a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I've been to New York. I've been to Philadelphia. I've been to New Jersey.
I heard Philadelphia is real nice.
Well, not the place that, not the.
I mean,
We went to where the stadium was at.
yeah, I heard that
And-
if you wear something blue or white, you're already gonna get your.
Where I
ass
was
kicked.
arguing with one of the guys.
Really?
Been to Oklahoma. Drove through Louisiana, but we didn't stop, so I don't count that. I've been to California to go meet my best friend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna go to Chicago, but I'm gonna try to go to Monterrey, Mexico, probably for like a day. But I'm gonna go there because there's a CrossFit gym there, over there. Because I mean, CrossFit is a world thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know if on the Primitive page you see me post like memes that are Mexican.
Mm-hmm.
They're from Mexico.
Yeah.
Well, like me and this guy, me and him messaged, and one day I asked him, hey man, like which is the best CrossFit gym in Mexico? Monterrey, because I love Monterrey. I like going over there to the scenery. He's like, no, well, there's one over here, and there's like a famous CrossFit athlete that goes over there, and it's something Tiger Tigre. So I'm gonna go over there. Hopefully, I don't know, maybe this coming weekend or the following, but I don't know. But we'll see. But depending how everything goes with the crime over there with the cartels.
I don't do anything international. I'm staying in America, bro.
No,
I haven't been to Mexico since I was a kid.
No,
I don't even remember Mexico.
No, I went like probably like 2 weeks ago. I go like every other month.
That's crazy.
But yeah. But like, I mean, now we will find out like, hey, there's like problems over there. Like, hey, no, there's a shooting or
No,
like,
that's
okay.
crazy, bro.
And that's the thing, like, and that's the thing, like, my grandma's like, and she lives over there. She's like, oh, it's normal. It's like a normal day.
Heard that. I have a coworker who he works with me every now and then.
Mm-hmm.
He works with me on the weekends actually, and he has stories like you leave the house after a certain time.
Mm-hmm.
Like blah blah blah. Like it's crazy.
But that's the thing, like, and that's the thing, like, I'm fortunate that when I go, I leave like around 9. Like, I'm there in the streets still at 9 or 8, and fortunately nothing happens. Like, I'm blessed, but like nothing has happened yet when I'm there.
Don't
Like,
push your luck,
not
buddy.
push my luck, but like I feel like I'm just gonna go to Monterrey, be there for like CrossFit gym, and probably just come back.
Yeah.
Because the thing is that when you go over there deep, you have to go in a convoy. You have to go in a convoy because people usually go through Matamoros and they go take that 2-3 hour drive, but I go through McAllen, Reynosa, and you have to take a convoy drive, and then the soldiers will take you there like and convoy, and that's the safest way.
Really?
Yeah. So I mean,
And that cartel will pick up you in your car.
yeah, my little rental.
Damn.
Yeah, but the thing is that like the safest way to travel is with church groups.
Mm.
That's the safest way is to go when you're going over there. It's the safest way is to go through with the church group because they know that you're not gonna have a lot of finance with the church group, so they know.
That's the truth.
So they're like, no, but why are we gonna mess around? Why are we gonna go and hurt people that are religious and stuff like that?
Yeah.
When we just know that there's a car there with there's the 2021 Silverado GMC, we could use that and take it away from them and make a built armor with that truck, you know. But I mean, I don't mind going to Matamoros or Reynosa or anything like that. I mean, I don't.
Pass for me. It's a pass. I'm good in the States.
No, is there any part you want to go besides anywhere outside the country you want to travel?
I don't know, bro. I'm kind of scared of going international. But if I did,
Because of COVID or
no, I don't
or in
care
general.
about COVID. I've never cared about COVID. I never when I'm against masks. I've always have been.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, I don't know. Maybe France. Yeah. Maybe I don't know.
Because I want to because I'm already, I already planned for Chicago.
China.
South Korea. I have a buddy. He told me like, he told me like whenever I want to go to South Korea, just to let him know. Cause
Nah, I don't mess with North or South Korea.
No, because he was like, because he's from South Korea. His because he's one of those army parents, like, and so he traveled and he's like, hey man, like if you even want to buy a car, you can even buy it and they'll bring it in a shipping container and bring it. And it's like probably like $2,000-$3,000, because he buys like exotic those exotic vehicles, so he'll have them there, and so he'll just pay like $3,000 to $5,000 just to have it. Wow. Coming from South Korea and coming. And I asked him like, hey, because I asked him when's a good time to go, and he's like, no, well the best time, and I told him I wanted to go during the winter time. He's like, no, just I would suggest to go during the fall, autumn time, because of the pink flowers. I mean the pink trees, like around that time. I was like, all right, well, so I told him all right, because
I do want to go see the Northern Lights.
Oh, man, they're beautiful over there.
You can see them from Canada, right? Like north.
I believe so. I have a friend that went to Alaska, and it's beautiful over there. Like, just she showed me like all the pictures.
That's what I want to see. That's a bucket list thing for me.
Yeah, that I remember. I mean, I bet. Where did you see that first? In Balto?
Where?
Balto, the movie?
I don't even know what that movie is.
You don't know where Balto, bro? No.
I don't watch movies, bro. So
no, Balto. You don't know what Balto is? Oh my god. You're gonna have to watch that with your son. Is that a cartoon or? Yeah, it's a cartoon. It's a real story though. It's a real story, but I recommend you watch it. It's a good story. Balto. It's an underdog story.
Oh yeah.
It's an underdog, literally dogs. Oh. But yeah, man, those. But yeah, I mean,
I don't know where I've seen the Northern Lights from. I just know I've seen them and I've researched them.
They're beautiful. I mean, I know that they look beautiful and real nice. And that's one place. Also, go to Alaska. I mean, go camping, and because I like to camp. I don't know if you like to camp.
One thing that we were supposed to do this year, we planned it this year before we found out Sarah was pregnant, was my best friend. Because my best friend and I, what we do is we take turns. I go visit him in California, and then he come visits me in Texas. Mm-hmm. And we do that every year, and we had done that for the past 3 or 4 years. Mm-hmm. And then so we agreed, okay, no, this year what we're gonna do is, no, actually this year I'm lying. This year he was gonna come to Texas, but then he caught COVID. Then next year we were planning on going somewhere to go camping.
I heard Colorado.
I was about to say Colorado, or we're even thinking Kentucky. Ooh. Somewhere like deeply forested, wooded. I have a friend that she lives in Kentucky, and we met her online, my friend and I, and like she posted stuff on her Instagram story, and I'm like, wow, the trees are humongous. Yeah. I'm just like, I would love to go out there and camp out, and the true camping, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, and that's why I feel like we have to do as humans is go out into the world. And
that's like a reset, right? It's like away from the house, away from like just out in the wilderness. You know, I would love to do that.
When you go to California, where do you go?
Well, he lives in Ontario, so we're not in any, like, we're in the city. Okay. So we went to Ontario where he lives, which is kind of like a small city, but then we went to Anaheim. We passed through LA. Yeah. Well, it was mainly Anaheim. Yeah. Anaheim in Ontario. Because I went for we were really into gaming. Yeah. So we went for a Call of Duty event, like the biggest Call of Duty event. Yeah. And it was a 3-day or 2-day event. Mm-hmm. And then so, you know, I stayed over there for 7 days. And so 3 days out of the week, we went to Anaheim. Beautiful place. It's like a mini, I didn't really get to explore LA, but it's like a mini LA is what my best friend tells me. Mm. It's like, he thinks it's better because there's not that many homeless people and it's not as crowded. And I'm like, it was nice.
Austin, like, there's a lot of homeless people in Austin. A lot. Well, I was surprised. Like, I was like,
my wife and I went to Houston, and it was crazy. She was kind of panicking.
Really?
Yeah, because we had a blowout. And it was like literally under the bridge where
they have all the tents and everything. Yeah.
And so like I drove to the Stripes with the messed up tire. Yeah. And I put the spare on, whatever, but she was like panicking, like,
no, they won't do anything. Yeah, they won't do anything, but it's, I mean, that's where you kind of take advantage, like, man, I got this. Yeah, but that's the thing. I'm also gonna be planning on going to California next year. Like I want to go to California, but
You want to go to city or you want to go up north? Like
that's the thing. I don't know if I want to go to city because I feel like city's like, but I don't know. Like I gotta know, like it's because like I want to see LA, just to see it. But I'm like, it's just a city.
The thing about California, I think that you need to make like 2 trips for that.
Yeah,
like maybe to experience the north and the south because they're 2 different. Right, like up there in San Francisco, it's like
that's where I was gonna plan on going. Is going to San Francisco over there.
That's where I want to go next.
Yeah, because I feel like because they have a lot of Asian culture over there.
Really,
in San Francisco, but I want to go over there to first San Francisco, and then go and then see around. But after that, go to Cali and then Florida. I don't know, like
the mountains are beautiful. I will say that. But highways are trashy.
Yeah,
there's a lot of trash everywhere.
Yeah, because and that's once I'm done with California, I want to go to a country like out country like my sister was telling me, why don't you go to Yellowstone? I was like, you know what? Cool. Yeah, Yellowstone's like a beautiful place too. I mean, seeing from the show, but I kind of want to go where I could camp, like just camp. No, like put up a tent how I used to when I was a kid. Put up a tent. Poop in the trees, fish, because I love to fish, and try to see if I can hunt, because I mean I want to go hunting as well.
You be careful. I would suggest going with a guide. Maybe you might encounter a bear or something. Bro, you're not surviving a bear attack. I'm sorry.
I'll Google it before I see it.
None of us are surviving bear attacks.
No, maybe a panda bear. No, ni tampoco un panda bear.
Well, polar bears are the worst.
Yeah,
but those are up
north.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm excited for 2023.
Yeah, I'm excited too, bro. There's a lot coming. And
I'm excited for you. Like, I'm excited. Like, dude, I know it's gonna be hectic, fun once baby comes in, but I'm excited for you and Sarah, dude.
Me too, man.
Well, Thanksgiving's tomorrow, so you want to say what you're thankful?
Well, I'm thankful for a lot of things. I'm thankful for the adversity that I was able to overcome, and then to have been given all the opportunities that I'm given today. To like have this beautiful home, have my beautiful wife, have the beautiful family I'm about to have a job, health, that I have all my limbs are working, all my phalanges are working. I'm grateful for opportunities. I'm grateful for the podcast. I'm grateful for the listeners. I'm grateful for the stream. I'm grateful for you, friends, family. I'm grateful for everything. And that's one of those things that I'm going to go back to in the beginning, where it's like, it's all about perspective, right? The boiling water. It can either make you hard or it can make you soft. It's all about how you perceive it. And I think there has been enough trials and tribulations in my life where I could be very hateful towards life, but I'm not. I'm very thankful, and I'm same here, man. I'm thankful for everything. I mean, especially what happened personally. I mean, with those couple of situations, I'm thankful because I feel like it's made me a better. I guess it made me find myself. Because I'm like I said, I've been down before, and it's like, okay, and I feel like this is just another opportunity to sharpen the sword of my personality. And I mean, that's the thing, before I never traveled before, and now I'm traveling, and now I'm looking for the next trip, so I'm thankful for everybody. I'm thankful for you for being there for me, friends, family, all my Primitive Beats clients and all the followers. And it's been a good year, and we're just barely in November, and see what 2023 holds for both of us. For sure. Well, here's to sharpening the sword.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Freddie. You want to let them know, even though I'm going to let them know in the beginning of the podcast, but you want to let them know where they can follow you?
Yeah, you can follow me on Primitive Eats 90 on Instagram, preferably on Instagram, because I feel like Facebook is kind of lacking on. I think like for some reason people are going more to Instagram.
That's where you want it, anyways.
Yeah, that's where you want it. I mean, and to me, it looks more cleaner.
Yeah.
Looks cleaner, I feel. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, go check him out, guys. All the links to him are always in the description. Freddie helps us out, so he earns his spot down in the description.
How do you feel? You feel good?
I feel good.
Good.
If you're new to the podcast and you made it this far, you made it this far for a reason. You enjoyed it, so you can either like, subscribe so you don't miss any further content. Another thing that I probably also mentioned in the beginning of the intro is that I have a new YouTube channel called Roger Reacts.
Dude, I love that show.
Yeah. So I have some more videos coming out pretty soon here, and there's some good content that's coming out there. So
yeah, I really like the one with the clown coming out and with the things popping out, like top scary like moments. That one was real good. I'm excited for what more you're gonna get.
Yeah. So
it's why your reactions are funny, dude, because I'm like this guy. I'm like laughing because I mean, but like I said, it's amazing how you those shows. I mean, it's a quick, like it's a good thing to watch. And like it's like when I watch like during my lunch hour, I'm like, this guy was
they're a lot quicker than podcasts.
Yeah.
They're short format. So if you're looking for something to make you laugh, scared, whatever it is, go check out the channel.
Yeah, for real. Check it out.
That's gonna be the first link in the description. So go check it out, guys. I appreciate y'all so much, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Peace.